Welcome. In this video, we will learn how to build an endless runner game using Java. This tutorial is designed for intermediate Java developers who want to get into game development. We'll cover the fundamentals step by step, from setting up your development environment to creating game mechanics like player movement, obstacles, scoring, and more. First, let's set up our Java development environment. Make sure you have JDK and an IDE. I recommend using IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse for this tutorial. Install the latest JDK version and create a new Java project. Now, let's add a basic structure to our game. Create a new class named Endless Runner Game. This will serve as our main game class. Next, we need to set up a JFrame for our game window. JFrame is a part of Java's Swing framework that will help us create a graphical user interface for our game. Now that we have the basic window set up, let's create a game loop. A game loop repeatedly updates the game state and renders it on the screen. Now let's implement a basic player character. Create a new class called Player. This class will contain properties for the player's position, dimensions, and methods to move the player. Now let's integrate the player class into our main game loop. We need to create an instance of player in our Endless Runner Game class and update its position based on user input. Now let's implement the rendering logic for our game. You need to override the paint method of the JFrame, which will allow us to draw graphics directly on it. Let's add some obstacles. Create a new class called Obstacle. This class will have similar properties to the player, but will be positioned randomly across the screen. Next, let's add a collection of obstacles in the Endless Runner game and update the game logic to handle these obstacles. We'll create an array list to manage our obstacles. Let's modify the render method to include obstacles. We'll iterate through the list of obstacles and draw each one on the screen. Next, let's implement scoring. We can create an integer variable to keep track of the player's score and display it on the screen. To make the game more interactive, let's implement collision detection. We will check if the player collides with any obstacles. Finally, let's make it possible to restart the game once it ends. By implementing a key listener that resets the game state on pressing the R key, we can achieve this. Now that we have implemented the basic mechanics of our Endless Runner game, let's wrap up our project. Be sure to play around with the parameters such as obstacle speed, player jump height, and scoring mechanics to personalize your game. In this tutorial, we've created a simple, yet functional Endless Runner game in Java. This provides a solid foundation for future enhancements like graphics, sound, and upgraded gameplay features. Thanks for joining me in this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts or any questions you might have. Happy coding!